Hey guys, hello and welcome back to another exciting session. आज हम लोग करेंगे द मेकिंग ऑफ साइंटिस्ट का रिवीजन। मुझे पता है मैंने बोला था कल रिवीजन होगा, नहीं हो पाया। 12:30 पे हम लोग की क्लास थी, फिर उसके बाद और आगे 3:30 तक हमारी रात तक की क्लास चली थी। बिकॉज मेरा सर दर्द बहुत ज्यादा हो रहा था इसलिए मैं सो गया। डोंट वरी, अभी हम लोग कवर अप कर लेते हैं। ठीक है, तो लेट्स स्टार्ट द रिवीजन। गाइस हम लोग स्टार्ट करते हैं अपना द मेकिंग ऑफ साइंटिस्ट। हमारा बचा हुआ है द नेकलेस, बचा हुआ है भोली, द बुक दैट्स इट, चार चैप्टर बचे हुए हैं। आज हम लोग एक चैप्टर कवर डालेंगे जो है द मेकिंग ऑफ साइंटिस्ट। सो लेट्स स्टार्ट विद दिस फुटप्रिंट्स विदाउट फीड बुक। सो लेट्स स्टार्ट एंड लेट्स गेट रेडी। ओके, मैं इस बुक रीडिंग में मतलब ये नहीं करूंगा लाइन बाय लाइन करूं, बट आई विल जस्ट टेल यू अ शॉर्ट समरी. So let's start. If you're new to my channel, then don't forget to subscribe my channel. Don't forget to like the video because it's free की चीज को छोड़ते नहीं, तो लाइक कर देना, सब्सक्राइब कर देना. द मेकिंग ऑफ साइंटिस्ट लिखा गया है बाय रॉबर्ट डब्ल्यू पीटरसन. Basically, फर्स्ट टॉपिक द रिचार्ज सक्सेस एट यंग एज. अभी रिचार्ड कौन था? देखो भाई, he is a brilliant scientist and he is noted for his work on cell and reading of DNA, right? So Richard's success at young age, the article of Richard and his friend was published in the Scientific Journal Proceedings of the National Economy, sorry, from the National Academy of Science. Now, he was only 22 years old at that time. It was the first time that the research work of college students were published publicly, and it was a great honor for Richard. Second topic, Richard, a collector from childhood. Now, Richard was the only child of his parents. He grew up at a reading Pennsylvania, USA. He had no one to play with, so he started collecting things like rocks, fossil fuels, and coins. Gazing at stars, collecting butterflies were his hobbies. These were collecting उसकी hobbies थी. Now, Richard mother was constantly encouraged him by taking, challenged him, and helped him to learn a lot. Richard reads the travel to a monarch X. Now, the reading of children book titled The Travels of Monarch X inspired him. He became interested in the world of science. The book asks the readers to study the butterfly migrations. Richard came in contact with the scientist, Dr. Urquhart, Dr. Okay, right. Now, fifth topic is that monarch butterflies. Now, Richard decided, okay, guys, okay, perfect now, right? Yeah. So Richard decided to raise butterflies at home to study their migration pattern. He would catch a female monarch and take her eggs. Now, he would watch all the stages of development of the butterfly. Then he would tag their rings and free them. He did it too for many years and raised thousands of butterflies in the basement of his home. And then what happened? Then nothing but what was happened then? Okay, let's start the next topic. Then Richard enters county science fair. Then फिर क्या हुआ? रिचार्ड ने काउंटी साइंस फेयर में एंटर किया, ठीक है। तो क्या हुआ? रिचार्ड ने फिर काउंटी साइंस फेयर में एंटर किया, ठीक है। नाउ he enters so he enters in the Richard's County Science Fair. So Richard displayed his size of frogs at the county science fair any award. He realized that he needed to carry out a real experiment to win an award. Right? So he took suggestion from Dr. Oregon. As a result of his many experiments, he won many prizes on the country and Richard's science fairs in the following thing, in the following year. Then what happened? Okay, yeah. Okay, just a minute. Okay. Then what happened? Richards in eighth grade. Richard, what was happened in eighth grade? Richards won country fair. But how? So Richard's eighth grade project was nothing but uh, Richard tried to find the cause of the viral fever that kills the thousands of monarch butterflies. He thought that a beetle may carry the virus that causes the viral fever. Although this was not the case, he still won a prize for this project, right? So the project won the first prize in the zoology division and the overall third prizes in the country science fair. Richard discovery a hormone. Richard was curious to know a reason. that Richard was curious to know the reason behind the 12 gold spots on the monarch pupa. Now, he and his friends built a device to prove that the spots were producing a hormone necessary for its fulfilled development. And the project got him first prize in the country fair. He also entered the International Science and Engineering Fair. He got the third prize for zoology in the fair. And Richard continues his research on monarch pupa. So Richard grew cells from the wings of the monarch butterfly. He further proved that cells grow into scales of wings only when they are injected with the hormone from the gold spots. He carried on his work at the Army laboratory or the US Department of Agriculture. And then after his freshman year, right? So after a freshman year or at Harvard, he returned to the laboratory of the Department of Agriculture to identify the chemical structure of hormone, right? So he decided to chemical structure of the hormone. Okay. So guys, I'm just discussing with this a single page only. हाँ चलो अब क्या करते हैं हमारे पास नेक्स्ट टॉपिक है रिचार्ड स्टडीज द ओके नाउ रिचार्ड स्टडीज द सेल्स डीएनए ठीक है नाउ व्हाट हैपेंड रिचार्ड स्टडीज द सेल्स डीएनए उसमें क्या था कि रिचार्ड रिसर्च ऑन द हार्मोन गिव हिम एन आइडिया ठीक सो ही बिलीव दैट हिज study could tell how the cells read their DNA. He, along with his college roommate James R. Wrong, worked on the idea. Then they wrote a paper explaining their story. Richard's planned at Harvard, right? So, in Richard's planned at Harvard, yeah, guys. So let's begin once again. Sorry, there was my mother again. I'm sorry for that. Okay. So Richard is on the hormone gave him an idea. So he believed that okay, down. So basically, they wrote a paper explaining their theory, right? So Richard's Gloria at Harvard. Richard graduated with second position of class at 1510, right? Yeah. So that was something at 1510. So 1510, as we can see in the live chat, कब हुआ था ये? रिचार्ड ग्रेजुएट कब किया था उन्होंने सेकंड पोजीशन ऑफ क्लास ऑफ 15010 स्टूडेंट्स मतलब 15010 स्टूडेंट्स है भाई ईयर मत समझना ठीक है 1510 बच्चों में उतने 15000 बोल रहा था 1510 बच्चों में उन्होंने सेकंड पोजीशन ग्रेजुएट की थी he became a graduate student researcher. He started experimenting to prove their new theory. His theory may create new ways to prevent some types of cancer and other diseases. Richard was an all-rounder also. So Richard was not just a scientist, he was an all-rounder. He was a good debater and public speaker. He was also a good photographer and an outdoor person. His social studies teacher praised him for his will to work hard to do his best and win. And Richard, a true scientist, now what happened? क्या हुआ था? अब क्या हुआ था? So Richard had all qualities that made him a true scientist. He had curiosity and a first-rate mind. He wanted to win for the right reason. ओके सो वी हैव कवर दिस डेटा आप लोग को ये चैप्टर समझ में आ गया होगा नहीं आया तो लाइक डिसलाइक कर देना आ गया हो तो लाइक कर देना थैंक्स फॉर वाचिंग टिल द नेक्स्ट बाय बाय मिलते हैं अभी मुझे देन फिर मैं भी जस्ट एक सेशन कर रहा हूँ ओके जस्ट राइट नाउ आई एम जस्ट गोइंग टू द सेशन द नेकलेस जल्दी से वो भी ज्वाइन कर लो द नेकलेस का सेशन जल्दी ज्वाइन करो बड़ा फनी चैप्टर हो ज्वाइन करना